evening and welcome to the Town of Selma Committee October 16th. Time is now 6 o'clock. First thing we need to do is approve agenda. I'd like to make one addition to the added as our first business item to have Chief McDaniel. Motion to approve agenda with motion. Motion by Ms. Lawrence, second by Ms. Jeanette. Next thing we need to do is approve minutes from our last meeting on September 18th. And looking over the minutes, the title itself should say Appearance Commission. So the Historic Preservation Commission needs to be striked. Also, we need to have underneath request of COA, each one of those descriptors, so that we can all those in favor to review our minutes at the next meeting. This item is electricity screen. can get dirty quick. Contest proposal. Yes. To some certificates of approval. So our first order of business, we to wait. I need Motion to open for the certificate related to 122 South Rayford Street, Selma, for signage.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Jeanette, second by Ms. Faber. Hi. So, yeah.
I can. Can you hear me okay? Okay. I do.
Laura, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I can hear most of what's being said, not entirely all of it. From a planning zoning standpoint, the appearance commission comes first, and then this is not the same as receiving your zoning permit. This is an important first step, obviously. Just to keep the commission in the loop, some of the things that we'll be asking when it comes to the zoning permit, and I believe this was touched on, some particulars of the hanging sign, which generally is permissible. First check. The type of material being used, which I believe I heard the applicant say metal. We're going to be asking for the clearance height of that, how it is secured to the structure, a few things like that. So that's more of the technical side. Otherwise, planning doesn't have any objection to the hanging sign itself, so long as the appearance commission believes it is conforming to the surrounding features of the historic district. The second point with the window sign, very similar. Don't see anything in the ordinance that forbids this. The ordinance does seem to encourage transparency with window fronts in this underlining zoning. It doesn't necessarily say you can't have any type of window signs. It just encourages the window to not be so obstructed with some type of tent or other materials that pedestrian traffic can't look inside the storefront. So I would just encourage the commission to talk about or think about the other businesses surrounding this business and how they've handled window signs, just to make sure it's conforming. So that's not to say there is an objection. That's just a point that if you are interested in exploring, that's one thing that I saw in the ordinances that might be that would be helpful for planning staff to have your feedback on. But otherwise, it seems to be permissible. We'll just have to tighten up the sizes and some of the more technical features of the signs before we do the zoning permit. Yes, ma'am.
As far as the window sign is concerned, is that going to be white or will it be signs? And will there be just in the logo, there's the temple green and stuff that's in there?
The one that's showing on the window, is that devastated? Is that the one? So is it the letters? There you can see.
Madam Chair, I meant to ask for the commission to consider my staff report as part of the evidence and record. And I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yes, ma'am, so we need to make a motion to enter that evidence to. Motion from Ms. Jeanette. Second from Ms. Florence. All those in. Any other information you would like? Do I have a motion to close the quasi? Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Jeanette. All those in favor? Into, I agree. It's comparable to what thank you across the street. She was describing. The surrounding. Motion to approve. Motion by Ms. Florence. We need to put that. I need to make a motion for that. Make sure. All right. Next, I need a motion to open a public hearing for the certificate of appropriateness related to 110 South Green Street in Selma, regarding a modification to existing site. Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Jeanette. All those in favor? Aye. Right. Anyone here to speak for 110 South Green Street?
I do.
Ms. Laura, do you want to start?
However you would like for to proceed. I don't mind at all if you'd like for me to kick it off.
Yes, ma'am, if you don't mind.
Okay. The application is 1110 South Green. This is a residential property. The applicant is the owner, so we did not require an owner agent authorization form. The narrative of the application reports that there was some fire, termite, and damage and leakage. The applicant would like to do some remodeling, which includes fixing the roof, damaged beams, adding a bathroom on the first floor, one on the upper floor, living dining space, closet, and some work to the existing deck, which to me seemed to imply the same footprint. And I apologize to the applicant if there was any miscommunications with the last meeting. That was information that I had. And then later, more information came in, and so it seems that I'm sure that's true, but there's probably just other information to consider now. I believe Dalton has included some more plans in your packet. The underlying, so just some details about the property. It's an R10, minimal flood risk. The lot size is 0.53 acres, but something I happened to notice when I was reviewing the packet, it seems that the proposed garage that I didn't realize was in the first submittal, but now I'm seeing in the second submittal, is on a separate lot, a smaller lot, and I'll kind of get into some of those details in a second. But from a planning standpoint, and this is not meant to get the cart before the horse, because it's very common for towns to review the certificate of appropriateness first. Your town ordinances likewise suggest that this is the right path, is to have the historical society or the appearance committee to review how plans fit within the surrounding historical district. So I don't mean to get the cart before the horse, but I think it is important for you to know what some of the planning thoughts will be before the permit is issued. So even if a certificate of appropriateness is issued tonight, there's still some more issues that the planning department would want to work with the applicant to get through. Some of those issues, setbacks, the front porch of the house, the new proposed front porch or awning, I'm not exactly sure what it is, doesn't appear to meet the setbacks. That's something I can work with the applicant on. The garage being on a separate parcel, maybe those lots have been merged and that information just hasn't reached GIS yet. So I'm just working off of GIS. It appears to be two separate lots. Did a quick look at your zoning ordinances, and garage is an accessory structure, accessory implying that there's a principal structure. So I believe that accessory structure can't sit on a lot by itself. So we would have to work through whether the applicant owner is willing to merge the lots into one large lot so that the garage will sit with the principal structure. I'll have to work with the owner to get some new calculations on what the impervious structures percentage is going to be, because I do believe now that there is going to be a change to the footprint. The garage dwelling, or the new garage, it appears, again, I always try to work in the language to say that, this is just me looking at the application. So I always invite the applicants to let me know where I'm misinterpreting. But it appears that there's a second level to the garage. So I had to ask some questions about if there's going to be a dwelling unit up there, just to do some density calculations. So those are some of the, just like I said, on the planning side, just to give you an idea of what the technical review will look like once this passes your review. Some of the things that I would suggest the commission to talk about, if you think it would be beneficial, is to clarify whether or not the footprint's going to be extended or if all the work is remaining within the existing footprint. Of course, discussing how the design is going to look similar to the other buildings surrounding in the historic district. And I'd also encourage you to talk to the applicant about demolition plans. I know if it's not a historic district, demolition plans are treated completely different. But something in a historic district, I saw on the plans that there was some parts that will be demoed. Just having a conversation with the applicant about what's being demoed and how is it being replaced, or what's not being replaced, what's the plan going forward, I think would be beneficial, because this is in a historic district. So again, not to get the cart before the horse, but just to give you an idea on the back end of what we're going to be dealing with, so that maybe that encourages and guides your conversation this evening. And with that, I would ask that you would consider my report for your evidence and also the application for evidence. Yes, ma'am.
When did you purchase the property? Yes, ma'am. And have you made any modifications to the home since you purchased the property? No changes to the outside of the home since you purchased it in 2014? Mr. Dalton, can you pull up, maps for these? What month? If you go to, Google Maps and Street View. It's not it. It's 110 South Green.
Madam Chair, I don't know if this helps. I believe you asked a question about when the house was purchased, month. According to the tax card, there was a new deed recorded in April 2014. There's also a note from the county, not from the town. So this is just public information from the county. In February of 2022, a note that the owners had updated some siding.
So you updated some siding in 20, so you have any changes to the outside of the home? No, ma'am. So I'm talking when you purchased the home in 2014. Have there been any changes to the exterior of nothing else? Nothing else. From a historic perspective, you're planning to change how the front structure of the room is, not just replacing like with like, you're changing the structure of the room. So you're going to be changing the historic quality of that home by changing the structure of that room. Swear in. So you see how your roof is currently? I'm looking on page 39. So what you have proposed is completely changing how the front of the home looks. And then you changed the vinyl siding. What was it prior to that? It was wood siding? Um, underneath, there should be an option that says see more dates. Maps. And see that? And then you should be able to scroll all the way to the right to. So is that what your home looked like when you purchased it? So it looks to me like you've changed the windows as well. So when I asked you if you changed anything else on the exterior, windows would have been included. As well as the door? Okay, so in the time that you have purchased this home, you've changed the door, window, added brick to the front, changed the siding from wood siding into vinyl siding. Okay. But is it the same design that you had originally? Yes, ma'am.
Start up the door.
And the vinyl siding happened in 2.
What are you gonna do different? The roof? The district?
I wanted it like right now it's like
We just said
it's like
ma'am, I see that.
I wanted to make it a little bit more.
So in living in the historic district, the idea is to maintain the integrity of the historic property. And so these changes that you have made already, and looking at the changes that you have proposed to make are changing the historic integrity of the home. And then going back to what Ms. Laura was saying about the setbacks, you want to add an entirely new overhang to the front of the home? Yes, ma'am. So with what Ms. Laura was saying, with how much you were asking to add on to, you are now going to be into the setbacks of your property, which will not be allowed. These right here. Miss Laura, do you want to explain that a little bit better than I can?
I don't know if I can explain it better than you can, ma'am, but I will certainly jump in. The front setback is 20 feet, and I'm trying to pull up the exact area that I was looking at of the plans.
Do you understand
Regardless,
what
it
she means
didn't
by
meet
setback?
the 20 feet setback of the. It looked like maybe there was a front porch. The plans didn't really say. It looked like there was some type of extension to the front. It looked like a small porch, and it's going to be encroaching on the 20-foot setback as depicted on the plans presented. I always invite, when I'm doing the permit, I invite applicants to get a survey, a licensed survey to refute that. The initial showing is sometimes just a rough estimate from a builder, and sometimes an official survey from a licensed surveyor will show that, the margins are a little bit closer. And so if they can present that, I'm happy to use that because that is a more accurate estimate. But as presented, whatever the extension is to the front is encroaching on the 20-foot setback that is measured from the property line to the first point of the structure, which is the home.
Okay, for the porch, because I don't know if you can see it up there, it's keeping it the same. Not adding any
Okay.
I'm just doing the porch, cover, not be like this, how it looks right there, but a little bit cover. But I'm not hiding any.
So whatever you're adding to it is not extending.
No, not on the front.
But if we're honest, looking back at 2014, what it was back in 2014, you've changed the footing since 2014, since you purchased the home.
Change the footing of where?
The porch, that brick area from 2014, from when you initially bought it to now, that brick space has changed.
Taking the space.
So you're
Madam
adding
Chair.
space to the side.
Yes, ma'am.
Not to the front, because what Laura is saying, can you go from the line?
Yes, I'm looking at the second page of your plans that has, it's not the cover sheet, it's the second page. It says lot 110 South Green Street, has the pin. If you will look, and I can kind of pause for everybody to get to where I am. What I'm looking at is an overview of the existing two-story home, and then what I believe are the extensions. So the extensions, the builder has used kind of like this shaded line to show what's going to be newly added. So you have the existing two-story house, and then you have the addition, which is shaded just by lines. And if you look at the front, to me that shows a new addition because it is the same scale, the same color key, whatever legend, whatever term you want to use, as this shaded addition to the side of the house. And if you look, it says 18, I think it's 18, I'm trying to zoom in, 18 feet approximately from the property line. So that's what I'm talking about. The new addition here in the front would have to be 20 feet from the property line. If it is a true, I understand grandfathered status. If something is pre-existing and you're not destroying it, you're not removing it, you're not altering the grandfathered status, that's a discussion we can have. I can only speak to what the plans appear to present, and the builder appears to present a new addition that exceeds what is allowed for your front yard setback of 20 feet. Is everybody looking at what I'm looking at? The kind of the shade, I don't know how to describe this, like the
And-
shaded area.
Laura, if you
meant to
scroll
note
down
new
some
additions
to-
to the existing structure.
Laura, I'm also looking at on page 40 of 81 of that document. It shows
Okay.
the side and the back, and it shows existing versus addition. And it labels that porch exactly as an addition.
Oh, okay, so that's another place where it confirms. It
Mhm.
seems that the builder is presenting this as new.
It distinctly labels existing versus addition, and it labels the front cover as an addition. And then I also noticed in the packet, in the beginning, it showed, in the plans, a two-car garage. But as you went through, and looked at the detailed report, it has a four-car garage. So can you clarify on whether it's gonna be a two-car or a four-car
No,
garage?
it's been 4 car.
On the second page, it distinctly says a new two-car garage. So you're saying for the record, it will be a four-car garage.
Change the windows in the house.
Did you remove the chimneys?
Yes. It did have too much. Because the whole house is inside the house. It was the house of the cat right there, right there.
Did you know this was in the historic district when you purchased it?
Taking this right now.
Is that information shared when someone purchases a home? And, the plans, when you put the addition on there, are to put vinyl siding around it. So being that you're in a historic district, you would need to put hardy plank, some sort of wood siding. Vinyl siding is not something that typically you see in the historic district. Party board, some sort of wood siding. Yes, ma'am.
This garage. Seriously? On your garage, on the backside, you plan to put a fence, a privacy fence behind this garage?
Yes. What I wanted to do there is because I have a lot of they come a lot. What I wanted to do there is make it like a guest. I wanted it. Taking advantage.
The roof,
Two-car
the
garage.
roof.
Subs-
It's asphalt. Yeah. Asphalt, and it says in the plans it's an asphalt roof. Mine's tin. You're gonna keep it? You're gonna keep what's on the roof? Or what's in,
Material that the
The
roof is
material.
made out of.
When you
But you're-
replace it,
But when you take that roof off, you're putting the same type of roof on.
I wanted to do like see it on the plan, like wall.
You're changing the structure. of the building.
Me,
any other questions for? All right, can I have a motion to close this actually first before that, can I have a motion to enter this evidence as everything was presented, in the application through our testimony, have it admitted and submitted?
Motion.
a second.
Motion by Ms. Jeanette, second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right, and then now I need a motion to close the quasi judicial. Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Jeanette. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. From a historic perspective, just based on how much has already been changed since the purchase of the home, and just the look, especially of how the front is gonna change, I would say we would need to deny this certificate, and have you go back and talk with your architect and share with them the importance of sticking with, historic properties and what, historic properties need to look like, to fit what you need as well as to fit the historic. So,
They should redo.
Thanks so much on this. It's been spent to change everything. just changed the window and everything.
Opportunity to redo as much as she is redoing.
She won't spend that much money.
I mean, in my opinion, the way it's, I'm sorry, not in my opinion, the way it's laid out, it does not fit.
You said the video across the street.
Already As a historic.
It's changed it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
She only changed the window so far. She's put.
Its historic value. So I would say, I would like to make a motion to deny the certificate of appropriateness, just because just make a motion to deny the certificate. Discussion. All those in favor? My suggestion would be to go talk with your architect about fitting it into what historic properties needs to look like. Everything needs to be wood siding, hardy plank, vinyl siding. When she files a new, because there's that garage that's added, it's a new construction, but she also need to add a new construction as well. So make sure you file the correct application to go with what you'd like to do. Thank you.
Where the crossing that, it's right there. Green.
All right, I need to make a motion to open a public hearing for the certificate of appropriateness for 404 West Anderson Street.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Lacy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Laura, do you want to open us up?
Sorry for the delay. I was trying to switch my screens and get caught up in the packet.
No, you're
Of
good.
course, ma'am, I'm happy to do that. The application is for 404 West Anderson. This is a residential property. The applicant is the owner, so no owner agent form required. The applicant is asking to construct a residential shed. Some details about the property. It's R10. Flood zone is X, minimal risk, not in the watershed district or overlay, excuse me. The lot size is about 0.22 0.244 acres. As I noted in my staff report, the minimum lot width is not met, but staff believes the subdivision occurred prior to the ordinance. So even though it appears to be non-conforming, it's not in violation. Again, just kind of not cart before the horse, but just to give you an idea of what the planning department will be looking at if a certificate is approved, things that we need to tighten up before a permit is issued. I will need some clarification on the setbacks. The applicant, at least what I have, the applicant submitted a detailed drawing of what the shed will look like, but I don't have great information on how it hits setbacks, orientation on the lot. I'm assuming it's rear to the primary structure, as most accessory structures are. Just little things like that to try to tighten up the packet to make sure that it's meeting all the requirements of the ordinance. Impervious surface, I'm not very concerned about that, but that's more information that I will be gathering prior to issuing a permit, just to make sure that we're checking all the boxes that we need to. I like to take a step back and try to think of maybe things that the commission will find helpful in your discussions. One thing that I didn't find particularly clear is whether the proposed structure is going to be attached or detached. Being a shed, I'm assuming it's not attached to the primary structure, but I was looking for that clarification. And of course, with a lot of the new construction items that you are reviewing in a historic district, how are the materials matching or not matching their surrounding area? So that's just kind of a quick rundown. And with that, I ask that the commission consider my staff report and the applicant's application as part of the evidence in their hearing.
Thank you, Laura. Is there anybody
Yes, ma'am.
here wishing to speak on behalf of 404 West Anderson Street? Questions for Ms. Laura? I have a motion to enter into the evidence that was presented in the application, as well as the testimony from Ms. Laura. Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Jeanette. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I now have a motion to close the quasi judicial hearing? Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Lacy. All those in favor? Aye. Because we do not have official drawings, I think that we can. So I would like to make a motion to deny the certificate of appropriateness. Second by Ms. Jeanette. All those in favor? All right, I would like to ask for a motion to open a public hearing for the certificate of appropriateness for 301 North Green Street. Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Jeanette. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there anyone here willing to present? Ms. Megan will need to swear you in. Laura, are you still there?
Yes. I do.
Ms. Laura, would you like to start off?
Be happy to, ma'am. So this property is 301 North Green Street. Again, the applicant is the owner, so no owner agent form required. This is a residential property. As stated on the application, the proposed use is a laundry. The current use is a laundry. unless the applicant has different information that he could clarify for me, it doesn't appear that there's going to be any change to the footprint. So we will be working within the current setbacks. So a lot of the information we've talked about tonight won't necessarily apply to this project. The applicant provided, in my opinion, extensive examples of the type of materials that will be used. So I think that will be helpful for the commission's discussion that's included in your packet. So I actually don't have a whole lot on this one, especially since the materials and designs are presented. The only note that I had was just clarification that we're operating within the same footprint, which I believe we are, but it would be helpful just to have that confirmed for the record. But otherwise, that's all I have to present on this particular application, and I ask the commission to consider the applicant's application into the record as evidence, and also accept my staff report into the record as evidence.
Anything you'd like to answer? Oh, do you mind pulling up the address so we can see what it looks like currently versus what the addition will look like? The address is 301 North Green Street. Sir, do you plan on using real cedar shake siding? It's the same cedar shake that matches the home. Is that what you have on your home? Can you go around? No, you're good. Just go around the corner so we can see the side of the house. Go down the street just a little further. Just a little bit further. We're looking at that space between the garage and the home, correct, sir? Cedar up at the top? Okay, that's what I meant. And you're gonna match that? And then your plan is to replace that window that's currently there with the glass block windows? So the shape of the window will be changing. What are the plans for the other side? As far as the exterior?
Is there a rain gutter there?
Will there be any changes to the garage? Got a little bit of time.
Draw these on your own? Very detailed.
Did y'all have any more questions for him?
Point of clarification, between the garage and the house, this is where you plan on putting this little building.
Well, I mean, it's gonna change as far as the window. It's gonna change. It's gonna replace- Right, do I have a motion to enter into evidence, that has been presented in the application and through testimony? Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Lacy. All those in favor? And do I have a motion to close the quasi judicial hearing?
So,
Moved by Ms. Lacy, second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. To make a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness as it's presented. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, sir. Do not think that we have any reason to go into closed session. So may I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Ms. Jeanette, second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor?
the